In this demo, I'm going to be talking about CloudFormation as a service in AWS. And we are going to look at what it is, the important elements in CloudFormation. Also, I will be launching a CloudFormation template, which is basically a 3-tier web application. And I'll explain the deployment and the resources in it. I'll look at a common troubleshooting issues in CloudFormation. I will also enumerate some advantages and disadvantages of CloudFormation. So let's look into it. CloudFormation is simply a service in AWS that provides a common language for you to describe and provision all your infrastructure resources in your cloud environment. It allows you to use a simple text file, either in JSON or YAML, to model and provision in an automated and secure manner all the resources for your applications across all regions and accounts. So it's the infrastructure as code solution in AWS. So some elements of CloudFormation, um, we will look at templates, stacks, chain sets, stack sets, cross stack references, intrinsic functions, and AWS service catalog. Let's look at what a CloudFormation template is. For this, I'm going to open my VS Code, and this is a CloudFormation template. And a CloudFormation template is simply a JSON or YAML formatted text that describes the AWS resources you want to create, their configurations, and any independencies between them. So this is our CloudFormation template, and it comprises, there are several sections. The first section is a description, and the description is simply a textual a description of what you are trying to provision. And in this case, this is a template to deploy an image processing app or website with S3, CloudFront, SQS, and Lambda. We have the parameters section, and the parameters simply allows us to customize resources based on input values without necessarily changing the template. And in this case, we have the account ID, which is a string, and here is my account ID. And we have resources, which is the most important and the only obligatory element in our CloudFormation template. And resources it simply defines the AWS resources that you want to create, update, or delete as part of your CloudFormation stack. And in this case, for our image processing website, we would need the resources that are going to be provisioned is a website bucket. That's an S3 bucket called the website bucket, another S3 bucket called the processed images bucket. We would also provision an SQS queue, an SQS queue policy, a Lambda execution role, an image processing Lambda function, a Lambda SQS trigger, and a CloudFront distribution. We equally have outputs, and outputs simply declares values that you can import uh, into other stacks or use to return information about the stacks created in the resources created in the stacks. And in this case, we would be importing the value of the website URL and that or the URL of the CloudFront distribution that we provisioned above here. So other important elements of CloudFormation are going to be a stack, and a stack is simply a collection of AWS resources that you can manage as a single unit. And stacks are created, updated, or deleted by deploying a CloudFormation template. You will move over to the console and CloudFormation. And this is a stack, and we're going to create this stack by simply uploading a CloudFormation template in a second. We have change sets, and change sets are simply allow you to preview changes that that the AWS CloudFormation will make to your stack without actually applying them, and it helps you to understand the impact of changes before execution. We have stack sets, and stack sets in AWS stack sets in AWS enable you to or simply extends the concept of stacks by enabling you to create, update, and or delete stacks across multiple AWS accounts and regions with a single operation. And this is really important for large scale deployments. We have certain notions like the cross-stack references, cross-stack references, which we will not really see here. Cross-stack references allow you to share resources between stacks, and they are done by exporting values from one stack to another, or importing from one stack to another. You usually have intrinsic functions, which are built-in functions that help you to manage resources at runtime. And we have the AWS Service Catalog, which allows organizations to create and manage catalogs um, of IT services. Now we would look at our three-tier web application, and our three-tier web application, which I have simplified with this architecture, comprises of 3 layers. And the first, the presentation layer, or the UI, consists of an a website that is hosted on S3, since it is a static content website. Remember that this website is an image processing website, and the static content is hosted on S3 bucket. And we have a CloudFront distribution that is placed right in front of this S3 bucket, and this CloudFront distribution enables us to cache and deliver static content globally with low latency, and equally provides us a secure HTTPS endpoint for the website. And it is configured in such a way that this S3 bucket is configured in such a way that when a customer uploads an image to the S3 bucket, an S3 event notification is triggered, and the notification is then sent to the SQS FIFO queue. And the SQS FIFO queue, that is SQS first in, first out queue, ensures that the image processing requests are handled in the order they are received, and guarantee that each request is processed exactly once. So this queue is placed in front of our Lambda function, and the Lambda function is going to process the images that have been uploaded by using the pillow library. And the Lambda function reads oppose the message or from the SQS queue. Once, yeah, and once the images have been processed, the images are then stored in a database which comprises of a new S3 bucket called the processed images bucket. Meanwhile, the files were uploaded to the website bucket. The result is now stored in the processed images bucket, and these images can then be accessed by the user through the website UI or either directly from the S3 bucket or a pre-signed URL. So in this case, we are going to try to create a stack, and in this case, we'll be choosing an existing template, which is a template in this VS Code. I'm going to choose upload. Okay. So I'm going to give it a stack name, stack 1, 2, 3, account ID. Okay, I don't need a tag. So rollback all resources. This ensures that if there is an element of or resource that failed to be provisioned, then the entire stack is deleted, or the entire deployed services are deleted. So we go check, acknowledge, and I'm going to launch my template. Okay, so the CloudFormation template is in a create in progress mode, and we can see the event progression here. Okay, 11 events. We are seeing our SQS queue, process images bucket, Lambda execution rule, all of these currently in create in progress mode. Okay, SQS queue is in create complete state. Process images bucket create complete. So I'm going to pause the video and return when this stack has moved from the create in progress to create complete state. Okay, so our stack 1, 2, 3 of our 3-tier image processing website has passed from the create in progress mode to create complete state. I'll check the events. Okay, the CloudFront distribution has been provisioned, stack 1 to 3 complete. CloudFront still in create in progress mode, SQS queue, create complete. Okay, so we will move over to S3 bucket, where we should see our two buckets, which are the S3 website bucket and the processed images bucket. Okay, the processed images bucket is here and the website bucket is here. We would move over to our CloudFront distribution, where we should see a CloudFront distribution that has been created. Okay, so this is our CloudFront distribution that has been provisioned. And we should go to Lambda, where we should see both our Lambda function and our SQS queue. Okay, image processing function. And okay, so here is our image processing function, and it is configured to pull messages from the SQS queue. So this is a simple deployment of our website, image processing website with CloudFormation at one go without necessarily having to manually create the resources your own self, which is time consuming. And now we are going to move to uh, some troubleshooting issues that we could encounter using CloudFormation. And it could happen that upon creating your stack, instead of let me go to CloudFormation. So instead of seeing create complete, you see rollback complete. What that simply means is that your resources have been deleted because one part or something failed along the line, and you would simply have to delete the stack. You need to delete the stack and create the stack afresh. Also, it might happen that when you are trying to delete the stack, even after you have emptied your S3 bucket, the deletion fails. And for you to remedy that kind of situation, you can use CloudFormation custom resources to automate the deletion of your resources. So that said, we would go to the advantages and disadvantages of CloudFormation, and really the advantages really far outweigh the disadvantages. And first and foremost, CloudFormation enables us to rapidly deploy our infrastructure using a template. And by defining the resources as code, you can consistently and quickly create and update stacks of AWS resources. And because um, this helps you to quickly automate provisioning of resources, it also helps in scalability. And as we earlier saw, you can use stack sets to deploy your AWS resources across hundreds or thousands of accounts and different regions in one deployment. And it becomes easy for you to make changes to your infrastructure using AWS because um, you can simply detect the changes on the template and you modify it from there, and CloudFormation is going to simply automate the changes from in all the various accounts and regions. And CloudFormation also allows you to define security settings for your resources, ensure consistent security practices across the infrastructure, and this helps to maintain a secure environment. And to the downside, I would say that CloudFormation is an AWS specific or proprietary service, and that has potentially limiting ability if you want to deploy the resources in using other cloud providers. And another thing is CloudFormation has a complex learning curve, or a long learning curve. You need to learn you need to learn JSON or YAML. The one we saw was written in YAML, and you need to learn how to write and provision resources, and it's a long learning curve for you to be able to master that as a beginner. And if you do fail to uh, provision your infrastructure properly, if you do not follow the best practices of CloudFormation, then you could liably expose your infrastructure to security risk. So it is essential for you to ensure that your CloudFormation follows the best practices. So this essentially brings us to the end of our presentation about CloudFormation and deploying a 3-tier image processing website. And yeah,